Check 1, 2. A beautiful Sunday afternoon here at the Paco Arena, City of Manila. This is your V-League Collegiate Challenge Men's Division. My name is Nori Uy. Kasama ko Jamie La Victoria and Andrea Balyacer. And we will be covering the NU Bulldogs and the Adamson Soaring Falcons. Kanina napanood natin UST versus DLSU. Nanalo ang UST dyan 3-1. Perpetual and Ateneo. A game where Ateneo could have won but they lost 3-1 also. And of course, ito yung cover natin, Jamie. An action-packed game in NU versus Adamson. What do you say about that?
Well, based on the standing today, we have NU that has not lost a game, and we have Adamson who has not seen the court in almost 2 weeks. So I have to say it's going to be a tough mountain to climb for Adamson today.
And before that, let's take a look at the team standings. Ateneo de Manila still on top 3-1 doon sa ating Group B. Meanwhile, Group A muna tayo. National University, the one we're covering now, 3-0. Kalaban nila number 3 team in Adamson University, 1-1. Jamie, these two teams, of course, National University, they wanted to keep that momentum, having these wins, you know, every single time. Pero ang Adamson naman, they wanted to get to that winning streak once again.
I believe that Adamson needs to create that spark plug today for their team. And with NU today, well, in their last game, they had a game against Arellano in 4 sets, and they committed 12 unforced errors. So I'm hoping in training today that they had in their training that, they work on what they need to work on, especially with Adamson today.
And let's acknowledge the performance of Mike Budin, the 21-year-old from National University. Very consistent, Jamie. In the first game, he had 10 points. In the second game against UST, he had another 12 points. Versus Arellano, a big 23 points.
Exactly. He's been super consistent along with Malinis with 13 points against AU and Retamar.
Yeah.
He's been setting great. He's been given, great spikers. He has 16 excellent sets in the last game against Arellano.
Lagi mo ang binabanggit, Jamie. You always say this. Sometimes the performance of the spikers depends on the setter.
Yes, as a setter, you have to allow your spikers to shine. But with NU, we have to give credit to their passing. Because without the set, without the pass, none of that will happen if the setter's not there.
For the Soaring Falcons, meanwhile, JM Tropia, the 19-year-old, also isa sa pinaka-inaasahan ng Adamson University. As we take a look at the numbers, JM 12 points in that win against the Blazers, and in a losing effort against the De La Salle, 8 points and 1 service ace.
We should expect Tropia to stand out today. In their last game against DLSU, in each of the set, they did not even reach 20 points. So I'm hoping that they're going to stand out today.
Of course. Again, sabi nga natin, as I've said earlier, Adamson, they've been, itching to beat NU because this will dictate how they will navigate through this elimination round.
Exactly, and like what I said earlier today, they have not seen the court. They haven't experienced a game live situation in almost 2 weeks. So today's the day.
Today's the day for them to show up, pakita nila kung ano yung kaya nilang gawin against the powerhouse in National University. Grabing domination naman kasi pinapakita ng National University dito, When we come back, it's game time between the Bulldogs and the Falcons. This is your Vili Collegiate Challenge.
Presenting our match officials. Our first referee is Mr. Erlindo Eusebio, National Referee. And our second referee is Mr. Irish Santos, National Referee. And now, let's meet the starting lineup of your National University Bulldogs. Let's start with their team captain, setter from San Pedro, Laguna, number 13, Owa Retamar. Outside hitter from Talisay, Batangas, number 1, Nico Almendras. Outside hitter from Puerto Princesa City, Palawan, Buds Budin. Middle blocker number 9 from Angeles, Pampanga, Luis Lumanlan. Another middle blocker from the Democratic Republic of Congo, number 10, Obed Mukaba. Opposite hitter from Bogo, Cebu, number 11, Ken Malinis. Middle blocker from Bayawan Negros Oriental, number 23, Choi Diao. And their starting libero is from Talisay, Batangas, number 8, Mano Sumagi. Their head coach is Mr. Dante Alinsunurin. Now it's the turn for the starting lineup of your Adamson University Soaring Falcons. Let's start with their setter from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, number 1, Carlo Alegre. Their opposite hitter is from Santiago, Ilocos Sur, number 6, Ned Packing. Outside hitter from Sarat, Ilocos Norte, number 7, Jadwin Gudoy. Middle blocker from Calatagan, Batangas, number 8, Mark Cogimbal. Outside hitter from Mapandan, Pangasinan, number 11, JM Tropia. Their middle blocker is from Mobo, Masbate, number 15, Joshua Magalaman. And their starting libero is from Santa Maria, Bulacan, number 4, Maru Takeda. Their head coach is Mr. George Pascua. Welcome to match number 23.
And welcome back. This is your V-League Collegiate Challenge starting lineup ng NU Bulldogs. Almendras, Retamar, Mukaba, Diao, Ken Malinis, Mike Budin, and Jam Sumagi, their starting libero. That's the usual lineup for NU. For Adamson Falcons naman, nandyan si Alegre, Gudoy, Tropia, Packing, Gokumbal, Magalaman, and their starting libero in Jao Canlas. We are underway. Nandito pa rin tayo sa Paco Arena, and this is a matchup between the top team in NU Bulldogs and number 3 in Adamson Soaring Falcons, Jamie.
I'm excited to watch Adamson and how they're going to play out today.
Alegre serving first para sa Adamson. And first to draw the blood dito sa ating labanan ay ang National University. So we were talking about a battle between top 1 and top 3, Jamie, you know. What is, I asked this earlier, but you know, when you see these two teams play, now that we're looking at them on the court, parang ano eh, no? Parang it could be a battle for the ages between these two teams.
Exactly. And the fact that Adamson, like I said earlier, hasn't played in almost 2 weeks, I know that they're going to fight today, especially with the team against NU. This should be a game that has no unforced errors. I mean, volleyball is a game full of errors, but they need to limit the unforced errors today.
And nakita nga natin dun sa mga unang dalawang laban natin, Jamie, no? In UST and LaSalle plus yung Perpetual and Ateneo.
Yes.
Yung
Great
mga
matchups.
Yung mga losing teams on that particular matchup, they could have won that game.
Exactly.
I mean, those games.
You know, there are just some moments during the game, the breaks of the game, break of momentum, and you just fall short sometimes. Sometimes it's just not your day.
Service by Godoy for the Falcons. And that's a quick hit coming from number 6, Mike Budin from the Bulldogs.
Very consistent player. You know that he's going to fight. And he's very, how do you say this? He does his job every single game.
Yeah. Well, he's not the finals MVP from the recently concluded Spikers turf for no reason, Jamie. No?
Exactly.
Tropia, meanwhile, got rejected there by the Bulldogs. Miscommunication para naman dito sa Adamson.
Moments like that should not happen between your teammates. Miscommunication, you should know by now the patterns of your teammate, who you're next to, who should get the ball.
Yeah,
Unforced error.
that's right. Service para dito sa National University. Tropia again. Good coverage by the Bulldogs. Malinis drops it off, finding zone number 3.
Adamson needs to step up right now before the lead gets too large. I believe that they need to block today.
Right, and
Because NU is
NU is
dominating
Yeah,
offensively.
that's right. And they've been dominating this tournament. At ang score nga natin, 5-1 na, no? Another setup. This time, that is off the block. So another point. 6-1 na tayo in this early part of the game. And early timeout, pakinggan natin si Coach George Pascua.
Ang ginagawa nila, yung bola, dinadala nila sa outside antenna. Pag outside antenna, siyempre, hindi papalinan down the line yun. Go cross court. Yung block natin, hindi nakasampot. Tumatama sa kamay natin, pero ang kamay natin, hindi nakapasok. Ayan lang, mababa lang naman ng bola nila. And then attempt tayo sa bola. Huwag niyo panoorin, kunin niyo yung bola. Pangalawang attempt, makukuha niyo na, pero hindi kayo mag-attempt. Walang intention na kukunin yung bola. Hindi natin talaga makukuha. Pero kailangan pa rin natin yung intention natin na kunin yung bola. Ha?
Gawin natin sinasabi ni Coach.
George Pasqua stated in the timeout that with the block, they need to press over.
Yeah.
Clearly, the set is a little on the outside, so they're not going to spike down the line. And he also mentioned, don't just watch the ball fall.
Yeah.
You need to attempt, especially with a team like NU who plays smart, they need to play tough today.
Sometimes in the thick of the moment, minsan talaga yung mga players just needed some reminders.
Yes.
I mean, these guys are good. Kaya lang, syempre, with the passion, with the emotion, with the competitiveness going on, minsan nalilimutan nila what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Oh, and what an error right there para dito sa Adamson Packing, missing that set.
Like what I said earlier, Adamson needs to minimize their unforced errors because they're giving NU points. I believe that, volleyball should be a game where you earn your points. You don't want to just give it to your opponent.
Back set this time. Medyo malakas yung palo. And how malakas. 8-1. And we will be heading to the first technical timeout of this game. Pagbalik po namin, live pa rin tayo sa CNN Philippines. This is still your V-League Collegiate Challenge.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are still here live at Paco Arena, giving you the live action at V-League 2022 Collegiate Challenge. As we spoke
End of
with
the first
Coach
technical
Pasqua,
timeout.
ang only bilin lang naman niya sa mga bata niya ay maging consistent. Kung ano yung ginagalaw nila sa kanilang training ay ilabas din nila habang naglalaro. Continue lang naman ang kanilang training and conditioning while kahit nagkaroon sila ng injury kay number 8 na Kongimbal, tuloy-tuloy pa rin sila at umaasa sila na kahit a little bit edgy ang kanilang pakiramdam, they will surely give NU the best game for today. Back to you, Jamie and Nori.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Andrea, first game covering volleyball, former player of San
Exactly.
Beda University. Ngayon naman, courtside reporter na natin siya. Meanwhile,
That
George
ball
Pa-
looked up to me from Canlas.
yeah, And Coach George Pascua, napatayo doon. He's trying to contest that particular call. Our officials are conferring with each other. Nope, that's the final call. Score now is 9-1 in favor of the National University. I mean, again, they've been showing dominance from the time they opened the games here at the V-League. Hanggang ngayon, very dominant ang Bulldogs.
There we go, exactly. You know, last game they played against Arellano, they had 12 unforced errors in the second set, but they were able to make Bawe after,
Yeah.
committing less unforced errors. And like I said earlier, volleyball is a game, you know, you're bound to make errors, but it's how you react
Yeah.
to them after.
Serving for the Soaring Falcons, Cogimbal. Good serve there. Retamar to Malinis. That's a very strong attack.
You know, Retamar, he's been setting up his spikers very well because there's a pass, and he has a lot of options.
Look at the beautiful back set by Retamar. And we've spoke about Retamar in the pre-game. We have, because sometimes, you know, the setters, minsan hindi napapansin yan, hindi na pag-uusapan.
Yes.
But it's a good thing that you were a setter when you were playing, Jamie.
Exactly.
That we now are talking about them because they're the ones setting up the plays.
Exactly. It's kind of like American football, quarterback. So with Retamar, he's able to set up his spikers very well because he has lots of options.
That's right. Again, Retamar this time to Mokaba. Buhay pa rin. Good dig there by the Falcons. Just at the net, and that will go to the side of the Falcons. So slowly, itong Adamson, I look at them as slow starting team. Earlier, it was 9-1. Now we're looking at the score at being at 10-4. So slow, they're getting their groove in the game.
They're kind of warmed up now.
That's right. And in the service area, this is, tawag sa kanya, si B2, Nerd Packing. Retamar again. Oh, that's a beautiful attack there, courtesy of Mike Pudin again.
The offense of NU is clearly dominating right now, and it's important that Adamson establishes their defensive pattern. That's the only way, or at least blocks.
Jamie, why is it? I'm looking at this. I'm looking at the replays and all, and you know, currently as these two teams play, no, Adamson does not seem to have that defense against the attackers of the Bulldogs.
Well, with Adamson, the block is not there, so it's also hard for the people in the back to defend. So there's a miscommunication there. And Retamar is doing a great job of faking the blockers of Adamson. That's why they are having a hard time.
Meanwhile, service error by JM Tropia. And that pushes the lead again of the Bulldogs to 7. The score is 12-5.
I think it's important for Adamson to play the game right, minimize their unforced errors. It's a given that NU is dominating offensively and doing well in defense, but you have to play the game the right way.
Godoy, meanwhile, strong attack there. Good dig by the Bulldogs. Almendras. Retamar, back row attack. Quite a rally. Godoy again, strong, but the blockers were there. Another point for the Bulldogs.
It's important that Adamson understands that the blocking of NU will be dominant, and they need to cover. Once you get blocked, cover and regroup. Simple as that.
And this basically is the same thing what we said earlier, no, regarding Adamson, that they just didn't have the blockers. Sa kabila naman, dito sa Bulldogs, they always have those blockers every time.
Exactly. Like we just saw earlier, another ace, well, his first ace, and you know, the unforced errors, like I said earlier, you cannot be giving NU points. Free points.
Yeah, Mukaba, a 19-year-old from Congo. That serve is a little strong. Six serving 14. Adamson in a big hole at the moment. They're down by 8 points. Magalaman in the service for the Falcons. Retamar from the back row again. That's too strong for an attack.
Great idea for that back row attack. Just too strong from Budin.
Magalaman also one of the better performers para dito sa Adamson. He scored 13 in their first game against the Blazers, including 4 blocks, Jamie.
Wow.
Joust to the net there. Petamar, good intention. Good block by Godoy. Almendras. Konting miscommunication dito sa side ng Falcons. Petamar again. Almendras scores yet again for the Bulldogs.
That's a great set by Retamar. Adamson needs to read where Retamar is setting the ball. See, the block is late like you just saw on your screen. They're gonna have a hard time defensively if there's no block there.
And just the variations of sets and plays that Retamar is setting up. It just amazes me how this guy, is able to do those.
As a setter, you need to be confident and composed. You cannot be rattled, ever. The setter is the last player that should be rattled on the court.
Retamar, the captain of the Bulldogs. Good serve there.
Medyo tight yung set.
Meanwhile, there was an error that was called on by the officials. Point for Adamson. 8 serving 15. And their setter, meanwhile naman, nasa service area from San Jose del Monte, Bulacan, is Grant Alegre. Back set. And a quick error committed by the Falcons, Jamie.
Net touch. Like I said earlier, they need to minimize their unforced errors.
And because of that, we are now at 16-8 in favor of NU Bulldogs. May technical timeout tayo. Magbabalik po kami. Nagbabalik po kami sa Paco Arena. Games on Wednesday, FEU versus UP at 10 a.m. At 1 p.m. naman, De La Salle versus NU. 3 p.m. it will be San Sebastian versus the College of St. Benilde. And at 5 p.m. it will be the Falcons and the Growling Tigers. Jamie, our score 16-8, an early lead by the Bulldogs. Did you anticipate this kind of game to be like this?
Well, I expected NU to dominate, but I expected Adamson to fight a little bit more, lessen the unforced errors, but we have to take into consideration that they also have not seen the court in 2 weeks.
Yeah. And what you've been saying off air is that it's different playing during the practices versus the actual game.
When you're training every day, hours and hours every day, Monday to Sunday. It's completely different from an actual game situation. So
yeah, and it could probably because of that they're a little bit rusty.
Yes.
Somehow yung cohesiveness
no
nila.
gel.
That's right. What a good drop there by the Bulldogs, and they pushed that lead at 8 again, 17-9.
That is the third drop ball that has dropped on the floor, and Adamson needs to adjust their defense and read the ball sooner.
Second time on the service area, Choi Jiao. The first time he was there, they have rallied quite a few number of points. Tropia. Good save there by the Bulldogs. Oh, that block is of no good. Point again for the Bulldogs.
Packing just needs to press over in the block.
Para sa koponan ni Coach Dante Alinsunurin, good things happen when Choi Diao is in the service area. Let's see if that continues. And
I think you just jinxed it.
Exactly. Sometimes I really...
Exactly. Every
And
time we
apologize.
cover together, we talk about it and then someone misses their serve.
Oo, ang
I think
ganda pa naman ng intro natin para sa...
I think they can hear us.
Probably. Falcons, meanwhile, they needed to wake up. And wake up quick. Retamar. Back set. A little miscommunication there. Mukaba. Binigay dito kay Budin.
There we go.
Unfortunately, there's, I think, a net touch against the Bulldogs. Score for the Falcons. Take a look at this replay. Good defensive scheme employed by the Falcons. At least, they are, again, slow starter, but they're waking up, I think, and they needed to put up a good fight.
They need this spark plug.
Malinis, however, saying no, we would want to dominate you guys.
Clearly, NU has been dominating. So, like I said earlier, Adamson needs to step up on their defense.
Ken Malinis from Bogo, Cebu. Beautiful serve right there. Backing. Oh, that's a beautiful attack. And Ken Malinis unable to receive that properly.
You could see on the faces of Adamson that they're kind of looking frantic right now. They're not as fluid with their movements, unlike NU. It's a piece of cake for them. They're very steady. They know what they're doing. They don't have miscommunications at all. And Adamson needs to feed off that energy.
That's right. Meanwhile, while you were discussing that particular point, Mike Budin again para dito sa NU, spiking his way and scoring again for the Bulldogs.
Exactly.
This guy is just 21-year-old, Jamie, and the performance that he's been showing is really exemplary para sa kanyang
Exactly.
koponan. Quick attack there. Good save by Ken Malinis. Oh, what a miscommunication on the side of the Falcons. Good break for Leo Aringo.
Adamson is looking like, they're not gelling right now. And like I said earlier, it's a big factor that they haven't played in almost 2 weeks. And, unfortunately, that's going to happen during games.
Service error para dito kay Mike Budin. Jamie, let me ask you something. Is there a fear factor on the other teams right now? Because we've seen NU dominate from the get-go. Is that a factor in the games?
It can be if you allow them to, if you allow them to be a threat. But for me, when you face a team like NU, that's the more that you should step up. That's the more that you should not be fearful of your opponent, because it's an honor playing a great team like NU. You learn so much.
Yeah.
You learn their patterns, and maybe you can get inspired by one of the players or something. So I think that, it should not be a threat.
Godoy finding zone 5. They needed more of those.
Exactly. Well, the setter now is doing some combination plays here and faking the blocker of NU.
Let's take a look at this replay. In between the defenders, nothing the Bulldogs can do in that particular attack. Service para dito naman kay Magalaman. Joust at the net, won by the Falcons, this time courtesy of Jadwin Godoy from Sarat, Ilocos Norte.
He knew that Retamar was going to give a 1-2 play back there. It's good that he was there.
Yeah, that's right. 15 serving 22. Still a 7-point deficit. Ang hinahabol ng Falcons. Retamar again. Oh, that's a good block by the Falcons. Nabubuhay na yung kanilang blocks, Jamie. Godoy. Good offense, better defense pinakita ng Bulldogs.
Yes. Ever since John Gay, number 14 of Adamson, has stepped on the court, there's a shift of momentum. There's more fluid motions of Adamson.
That's right. Pero ito, malapit-lapit na tayo sa set point para dito sa Bulldogs and service para sa kanilang kapitan na si Retamar. It's a very good service. Godoy again. The back set to Aringo. Oh, medyo kinapos. Aringo is supposed to tap it, kaya lang kapos yung kanyang pagkakatapik. 23-16. Still a 7-point lead by the Bulldogs, and in the service area, Jude Aguilar from Carigara, Leyte. Retamar again, the back set to Aringo, and Aringo scores.
I love how Aringo has fire right now. He didn't play last game, so it's good that he's been given a chance.
Meanwhile, my timeout. Coach George Pasqua, let's listen in.
Di ba? Communication sa sa block. Hindi natin inuulaan kung sino yung papasok. Provided, titingnan muna natin yung tao natin. Huwag natin iiwanan yung tao natin. Ngayon, kung aalis yung tao natin, sabihin nyo sa kasama ninyo, pupunta dyan. So, kayo yung block ko. Pag narandaman nyo, hindi nyo narandaman ng middle block, pivot, cross court ka na. Pabayaan nyo ng down the line, pabayaan ka naman tamaan sa mukha yung
George Pasqua stated in the timeout that the blockers need to communicate. You know, this is what's, allowing Adamson to have this big lead. They are not blocking well in the first set.
That's right. And nakakatuwa, no, Coach George Pasqua, very calm, very calculated, continues to give reminders sa kanyang kupunan. Oh, what a break there. Lucky break.
Lucky break
Indeed,
right there.
para dito sa Falcons. Well, they have a chance to put this into a ball game. Wag lang sila mag-error kasi one error from them, set point. The Bulldogs will have the set. Gudoy the service. Retamar from the back row this time. And again, this is a Ringo set.
Yes, amazing. I'm glad that he's been given a chance to play. Great back row attack, explosive approach.
What more can you ask for?
Exactly.
So set number 1 belongs to the NU Bulldogs. Pagbalik po namin, set number 2, this is still the V-League Collegiate Challenge. We are still at the Paco Arena. This is your V-League Collegiate Challenge. We're live at CNN Philippines at the V-League Facebook page and vleague.ph. If you take a look, these are the highlights of set number 1, Jamie.
Exactly. We saw in the first set that Adamson gave away too many unforced errors, and with a team like NU who does not commit any unforced errors, it needs to be minimized in this upcoming second set.
Showing how dominant NU is. I mean, sabi mo nga, they don't commit. I mean, they may have committed some unforced errors, but very minimal.
Exactly. They have flow. They don't have any miscommunications between each other. That's a sign of a good team.
And credit to Leo Oringo. He didn't play the last time. He played today, but exceptional. Take a look at the statistics.
On your screen, you have 15 attacks by NU and only 5 from Adamson. 3 blocks from NU, 1 from Adamson, 1 block from NU, and we have 11.
11. That's just too much. I mean, this number, the numbers that we're looking at right now, this is just too much of of a discrepancy.
Exactly. You cannot be giving your opponent points.
Yeah, an absolute dominance again pinapakita ng NU Bulldogs. And this is their usual play, the usual kind of play that they do. So it's up to the Falcons to adjust in this set number 2 if they wanted to extend this game.
Exactly. I'm hoping that Adamson they're going to be able to minimize their errors and adjust their mistakes.
From the back row. Good dig there by the Bulldogs. Almendras. Back row Tropia. Good rejection by the blockers of National University.
That's the first time that they utilize the back row attack, so let's expect Adamson to vary their spikes today.
Yeah, and they could have done that in the first set, but anyways, it's still the second set pa lang naman. There's still
They're
a lot
learning.
They're
They're
learning.
learning.
At least the adjustment is there. Retamar, medyo malakas ang kanyang service. Gives away a point to Adamson. And Grant Alegre again will be going to the service area. A former member of Academia de San Lorenzo de Maala. Retamar, who's he gonna go to? Back row, Budin. Good save, Godoy. Oh!
Medyo tight yung set.
Yeah.
Budoy had to just tip it over. Unfortunately, it hit the antenna.
At least we're seeing efforts.
Yes.
We're seeing adjustments in this early part of set 2.
May eagerness this set, which
Yeah.
was not shown in the first set.
Almendras, very soft touch yung kanyang service. Back set naman this time. Another good rejection courtesy of Mike Budin.
Unfortunately, Adamson, they cannot be doing those soft touch spikes. It's going to be easily blocked by NU. So they have to vary their spikes, not just with power, but also placement in the right spot.
3 serving 1. Early lead again by the Bulldogs. Nico Almendras still in the service area. Former MVP of, actually current MVP of the Spikers Turf Tournament. And beautiful attack para dito kay Godoy, showing signs of aggressiveness.
Exactly. Sometimes you just have to sacrifice your body, get the ball.
Jadwin Godoy, siya ang umatake kanina, or rather siya nakascore kanina, siya naman mag-reserve ngayon. A little miscommunication by the Bulldogs. Very rare na may ganyang miscommunication sila. Packing, meanwhile, another good block by NU.
It's important that NU, we all know that they're going to have a block party, and Adamson needs to cover. When they cover, regroup and set up the play. Keep it simple.
It just amazes me yung presence of mind ng NU. No? After each attack, all of a sudden, biglang nagko-convert sila for a block almost immediately.
Exactly. NU is very fluid. They know what they're doing. Very steady.
Quick attack there. It worked this time for the Falcons. 2 consecutive points, 3 serving 4. Coquimbal the service from Batangas. Malinis. Alegre to packing from the back. Medyo may konting rally tayo. Ken Malinis. Alegre. Good save there. We have quite a rally. And that is a good decision by Tropia, just dropping it off in the face of the Bulldogs.
Retamar looking for a touch there.
Coquimbal still in the service area. Just turned 20 last November 1. Malinis again, skying high for that spike and scores.
It's important that Adamson adjust their defensive pattern. We know that Adamson is a great team offensively. So they need to make adjustments now before the score gets far.
That's right. Alegre, kanino bibigay? Quick attack. Magalaman, meanwhile.
It's important also, like I said earlier, that Adamson varies their spikes, not just setting the UT and open, but also the quick.
That's right. And sometimes if you have a attacker like Magalaman, siya very tall, talagang mag-work yung quick attacks dyan. Service ace!
Rare air by Budin. Ace.
So first lead of the game by the Falcons. Is this a good sign, Jamie?
Let's see. It's too early to tell.
6 serving 5. Backing the service. Retamar. Budin drops it off.
There
Good
we go.
rejection. Biglang nabubuhay na ang mga tiga Adamson as they are up by 2. Backing still in the service area. This guy is from Santiago, Ilocos Sur. He scored 12 and 7 in their last 2 games. Retamar, the back set. Malinis! It went out. And that will send us to the first technical timeout of set number 2. 8-5 lamang ang Adamson Soaring Falcons. We will be back.
We are still now live at Paco Arena, giving you the live action for the V-League 2022 Collegiate Challenge between the match of NU and Adamson. Earlier in the first set, Almendras had a difficulty due to having cramps, but Coach Dante Alinsinurin just said to his team na tuloy-tuloy lang kahit anong maging standing man at kailangan lang i-maintain ang service receive, attacks, and less errors. Back to you, Nori and Jamie.
Thank you so much, Andrea. Again, a very good insight coming from Andrea, no, that Nico Almendras had an issue earlier in the first set, cramping.
Fortunately, you have to stretch. Was that from spiking, I believe?
And I would say the luxury of Coach Dante in having so many options sa kuponan ng NU. I mean, it's still, it's still a different discussion.
Exactly.
It's still a different discussion if one of your main guys is hurt or is hurting. But if you have this kind of lineup, Jamie, do you even bother?
Well, luckily with NU, they have a lot of options. Their second 6 is a very deep bench, and they were able to prevail in the first set.
Service error meanwhile para dito kay JM Tropia. Malakas yung kanyang serve. And Bukaba namin to service area. 7 serving 9. Bukaba had 7 points against the Blazers, 8 against UST, 9 against Arellano. Will he have 10 in this particular game? We don't know, but probably.
Probably, most likely.
This guy's just 19. He's going to turn 20 on November 28. Alegre, back set packing, medyo kinulang.
Right idea by their setter. Alegre, reverse setting that we just saw. Great idea. Well, I have to give it to Adamson right now. There's a pass.
Yeah.
And there's a dig.
Yeah.
There's a set. So they need to work better offensively.
Mukaba, very awkward yung mga service ni Mukaba, no? But it works. And that is another point for the Bulldogs. Again, lagi natin pinag-uusapan yung blockers ng Bulldogs, always a steady presence. And that is just a one blocker.
Single block.
Yeah. So, ang importante, laging meron.
Exactly. And it's important that Adamson covers. They know that NU is dominating in blocks.
Service error para dito kay Mukaba. And that is a gifted point para dito sa Adamson Soaring Falcons. They're still up by 1. 10-9. And in the service area, this is Joshua Magalaman, their middle blocker from Mobo Masbate. Retamar to Almendras.
That's a great set by Retamar. Some reverse setting we have over here.
You know, we have recognized Owa Retamar for being a very good floor general, so to speak, no? But what a luxury does he have? Ang dami niyang options. Pwede niyang iba to sa opposite, pwede sa outside, pwede sa gitna, pwede sa back row.
Exactly. That's great with NU. Like you just said, they have lots of options, allowing his teammates to shine, and that's the job of a setter.
That's right. Meanwhile, sa Falcons naman, give credit to Alegre.
Great down the line hit.
Godoy capitalizing on that beautiful set.
We have a close set right here.
11 serving 10. Good receive by Budin. Again.
Back
this-
to you, down the line.
See the luxury that we are talking about, no, dito sa kupunan ng Bulldogs. Malinis was there earlier and converting on that beautiful attack. So if dito naman sa kabila, nandyan si Budin, nandyan si Almendras, talaga naman very loaded.
Exactly. We have to give credit to the libero of NU Sumangi, who has been setting up with that dig.
Retamar, kanino pupunta? Sa likod. Malinis. Now Canlas. And that is Godoy once more. And Godoy is showing really good performance in the set number 2.
Adamson has that spark plug that we've been talking about that they needed in the first set. At least it's showing now.
From Santa Rosa National High School, Jadewin Godoy. Again, quick attack. Oh, unfortunately, hindi na na-save ni Cogimbal yung dig nitong Adamson.
At this point, moments like that should not occur, but that's just part of the game.
Yeah. Good conversion out of that quick attack ng Bulldogs. No, we're tied at 12 now.
Great serve.
Alegre, binigay kay Casas. Strong attack there. Kaya ba i-save? Hindi na kayang i-save.
I'm loving the energy of Adamson right now. They're really working together as a team. There's chemistry right now, and they're smiling, and you can see that they're enjoying the game.
That's right. Unlike set number 1 na parang defeated yung kanilang aura, no, in this
Exactly.
particular set, they seem to be having fun.
Their demeanor was kind of low at that time.
Unfortunately, Budin again destroyed that demeanor and scored against them.
Well, right now, Adamson should not break their momentum right now before, unless, you know, they might have a big gap.
Mike Budin, a very steady, consistent performer para sa kapunan ni Coach Dante Alinsunurin. From the back row, Godoy. Retamar. And that is Ken Malinis for the side of the Bulldogs. Siya naman ang bumawi galing sa likod. Take a look at this.
Great back row attack by Malinis. He's been doing such a great job offensively, adding that spark to NU, trying to not have Adamson gain any momentum right now.
Ken Malinis, who had 9 points in their first game, 11 in the second, 13 against Arellano. Malinis talagang maglaro si Ken Malinis.
Exactly. He leads by example, does a great job, very steady player.
Third packing, serving para sa Adamson. They are tied at 14. Retamar, oh, confusing that defense.
With that 1-2 play, great idea by Retamar. You know, as a setter, it's great when no one gets the ball.
And plus the fact that he's been setting up from, from the moment we started the game. Set up lang siya ng setup. So, nagulat ang lahat when he did that quick attack.
Exactly.
Retamar again. Another drop. This time, anticipated ng Falcons. Packing! What else can we say with the blockers of NU?
Adamson needs to cover.
As we are again heading to the second technical timeout, lamang na po ang NU, 16-14. We will be back. We are back, and in today's match, kanina po, nanalo ang UST against the De La Salle Green Spikers. And in our second game, it was the Perpetual Altas beating Ateneo. And of course, ito, game on the line. This is NU Bulldogs and Adamson Soaring Falcons. Lamang po sa second set ang NU ng dalawa, 16-14, and they have set number 1 to their name.
I'm loving the energy of Adamson right now. They're really stepping up unlike the first set because they know they need to.
They need to, otherwise may straight set sila.
Exactly.
Budin the service. Retamar to Mukaba. Unfortunately, Mukaba medyo paling. Hindi aligned yung palo niya.
Yes.
Napayes ka na lang. And this is my partner, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, Jamie La Victoria, the legend of Ateneo.
Oh my gosh.
Serving para dito sa koponan ni Coach George Pascua is number 10, Francis Casas from San Pedro, Laguna. Beautiful serve there, Retamar. This time to Almendras. Almendras dropping it off. Buhay pa rin. Retamar. Almendras again. And this is going to be a rally. Joust at the net, won by Almendras after 3 tries.
Almendras doing a great job. The set was medyo tight sa net, but he was able to adjust.
17-15. NU by 2. So a little change of personnel here para sa dalawang koponan na ito. John Gay magbabalik para sa koponan ni Coach George. And Bukaba naman sa kabila, lalabas muna. Papasok Belostrino.
The great part of Adamson, Coach George has been utilizing their double sub. And what's great with the double sub is that these two players are coming from the outside. So they've been watching the game and they could change the momentum of the game and give Adamson hopefully a run start.
Godoy again, strong attack. Binalik ng mga blockers ng NU. Second try from the back row is good.
We have the setter of Adamson, John Gay, utilizing
Gay.
that back row attack.
It's a good variance for Coach George, no, putting in John Gay in this particular moment in the game. Nagkaroon bigla ng shift of offensive scheme itong Adamson.
Exactly. Well, with the two setters of Adamson, they both have different setting styles, and it will help for Adamson.
And Ken Malinis, another smart play there, just simply tapping it off against the defense.
Malinis knows that it's not all about power, but placement as well. Putting it in the donut hole on the court, changing it up, and bearing his spikes.
Retamar in the service area, lamang sila ng dalawa. Good receive there by Casas. Godoy. From the back row, what a save by Canlas. And Godoy misfired that time.
That's a great dig by Canlas. Unfortunately, in the net yung spike ni
That's right.
Godoy.
Lamang na ng tatlo ang National University, 19-16. And this is something that Adamson would not want to happen, them not winning set number 2.
Exactly. And with NU being so dominating, they know that the third set, NU will kill.
Exactly. The moment, normally it's a momentum shifter, no? Yung
Always.
set 2 na yan, no?
Exactly.
Aguilar ngayon, nasa service area. From Carigara Leyte. Good serve there. Retamar again. Finding and scoring itong si Ken Malinis. How many times is Ken going to display his spikes against this team? Meanwhile, may time. Makinig muna tayo kay Coach George.
Boys, pagka malayo yung set, especially pag nandyan, hindi sila pumapalo ng diin. So, saan tayo? Ito yung magiging depensa natin. So, tatatluhin natin yan dyan. Tapos, isa rito, ha? Kasi ginagawa natin, gumaganon tayo dito. Oh. Kaya pag pumasok doon, nawawala tayo. So, igano lang natin. So, tatluhin natin 3-man defense tayo. Tapos, isa rito, ha? Tapos, ganun din sa spiker. Pag itong pumalo, Back row, ayun lang tayo, ayan. Tapos dito lang. Para pag dinarap to, kuha. Maliwanag. Kasi ang nangyayari, pumapalo dito, nakaganyan ng depensa natin. Oh. Ang layo nito eh. Ha?
Go.
George Pasqua was saying in the timeout that they need to fix their defensive pattern in the back row. They need to also see this set of Retamar, if it's on the net, far from the net, to outside, to inside. They need to see it because that's also the gauge of where the spike will the spiker will spike the ball.
And this is a tough challenge, I would say, for the team of the Falcons. Kasi nga, it's very hard to defend a team that has a lot of options. You just don't know where the ball is going to go to.
Especially with that power as well. You need to be able to play defense.
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking in Adamson right now.
And as I've said nga, di ba, how many times will Ken Malinis humiliate the defense? Every time he goes airborne, it's just a matter of like saying when it will count as a score.
Exactly. They need to see the patterns of the spikers of NU and really work on their defense right now.
And a rare error meanwhile para dito sa koponan ng Bulldogs as Nico Almendras. That's a service error. 2018. Still down by 2. Adamson service is Mark Paulino. And that's a good way to close out that particular sequence. Unable to prepare were the Bulldogs.
Adamson is slowly gaining their momentum. 2019 yung score. Rare error by NU having over-received that ball.
Paulino from Imus Cavite. Good serve. Retamar again from the back. And this is another score by Ken Malinis. 21-19.
With Malinis, he's doing a great job offensively, and he scores when it matters.
Yeah. I mean, very spread out. If you look at the statistics of NU, there's not one single superstar that dominates. Everybody just scores at will. Casas, meanwhile. Malinis again. That's a little strong.
Too strong by Malinis over here. Adamson rejoicing for that unforced error by NU.
So this is a good time for Adamson to really dig deep into their offensive schemes. Because they wanted to win this set. They're just down by 1. Unfortunately, another error for the Falcons.
Adamson needs to minimize their errors because NU rarely makes unforced errors. So they're basically giving them points.
Ken Malinis. The service. Magalaman, no. Casas drops it off. Will they be able to save it? Yes, they can. Alegre, back set. This time, packing.
Rare error by Malinis. We have Adamson over here rejoicing, happy. They're finally smiling.
Because they're able to close this to stay in the game with the Bulldogs in the set number 2. A little miscommunication sa side ng Falcons at a broken play now. Retamar, kanino pupunta? Quick attack, Mukaba. Buhay pa rin, Retamar. Gives it to Budin. And he scores. That's a good spike in between the players and the net.
That's a great one-hand set by Retamar.
And take a look at this. It does not matter how many defenders are there. He's gonna squeeze that ball through. Meanwhile, may timeout ulit tayo from the Adamson squad.
Magbablock tayo, ipapasok nila. Kasi ang ginagawa ninyo, ito, first action, second action. Kaya, pag-block natin, ito tumatama. So, pasok ka na kaagad. Lalo pag malapit sa net. So, titingnan nyo si setter, front row. Ganito ang play. Dali mo dito ang ano. Paki ano nga po. Yan. Dito mo kukunin. Okay, big quick ka, tres ka. Packing, dito ka. And then target sa position 1. Ha? Liwanag? Okay, let's go. And dikunin nyo rito receive, ha?
George Pasqua stated in the timeout that they need to press over with the block, and he also gave his players a combination play. So let's see if they'll be able to do it right now.
As we can see, Coach George being animated because he's used a lot of timeouts, and I think in this particular set, wala na siyang timeout. Nevertheless, Alegre again to Casas, finding zone 6 finally.
That's exactly what George Pasqua said in the timeout, to create that combination play, and I'm happy that they were able to succeed in that.
And this is the kind of timeout that you wanted. You know? After timeout, execute and score.
Exactly.
Casas, service area. Retamar to Almendras. And just like that, another error by, or not really an error, but rather another strong attack by the
Exactly.
Bulldogs.
Unfortunately, Casas was in the wrong defensive spot. He should have been in zone 6, but let's see what's going to happen now.
Set point tayo, Mukaba, nasa service area. He could close out this set number 2. Or will the Falcons be able to extend? Let's see, Alegre, quick attack to Magalaman. Unfortunately, that is way outside, and the Bulldogs just owned set number 2, and it's now 2-0. Pagbalik natin, Jamie, third set na.
Yes. Let's see that hopefully Adamson changes something and we see some improvement.
Magbabalik po kami. This is still your V-League Collegiate Challenge. We are still live here at the V-League Collegiate Challenge at live na live din tayo sa CNN Philippines, and sa lahat ng nanonood sa atin sa CNN Philippines, isang magandang hapon po sa inyo, and we know that you are enjoying this match between the NU Bulldogs and Adamson Soaring Falcons. Kaya nga lang, NU is still dominating this match, Jamie. They have 2-0.
Adamson did a great job but fell a little bit short in the second set. I could see that there's a change of behavior and pattern with Adamson. They're smiling, they're enjoying the game, and they did not commit as much unforced errors as last set.
That's right. Yeah, tama. Yung observation mo nga kanina, they have more fun now. They're enjoying more compared to set number 1. Unfortunately, it's still a dominant NU that we saw in set number 2 as we take a look at the stats.
As you can see on the screen, we have 14 attacks by NU, 11 from Adamson.
Improved yan.
Yes. 5 blocks from NU, 1 from Adamson, 1 ace from Adamson, and 6 errors and 9 errors.
And still the errors that's killing Adamson in this particular game. And we thought in set number 2 na nakapag-adjust na sila, Jamie. No? Unfortunately, it's still too much for Adamson to take in the offense and the defense of National University.
Exactly. Well, I think that Adamson needs to do a better job in communicating. We had a few miscommunications there
Yeah,
last set.
that's right. And every Sunday, ladies and gentlemen, at 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. games, we are live at CNN Philippines.
Thank you for those tuning in on CNN right now.
Of course, inaabangan naman talaga itong V-League, di ba? So what more if it's available on TV? So
Exactly.
again, maraming salamat CNN Philippines. And aside from that, we are also live sa V-League Facebook page and the vleague.ph website. Ayan, so step number 3 is underway. And again, drawing first blood. What else can we say? It's still NU.
NU knows that they need to fight this set so they do not go into 4 sets.
Buhay pa rin dito a broken play from the Falcons. Meanwhile, another big time attack by Budin. Take a look at this. From the outside. Grabe. What can we say about this guy? I mean, this guy has been dominating match after match. The 21-year-old in Mike Budin.
Extremely consistent, does his job, and does a great job of blocking as well. NU needs to step up now. They need to cover, and once they cover, regroup. Dig, set, spike. Keep it simple. No need to do any fancy plays. Just play the game right.
And just like that, up by 3 are the Bulldogs. 3-0. Quick attack there. Good save by NU. Budin again. Canlas. Godoy. And that's another rejection.
Block party by NU, like I just said earlier. They need to do a good job of covering because they know that NU dominates in blocking.
That's right. And Mike Budin showing off, strutting off his wares in this particular game. Godoy this time finding zone 6.
That's a great spike by Budoy.
Finally, a well-executed offense para dito sa koponan ng Falcons.
He's been doing a great job, and he's being a leader on the court, a silent killer.
Unfortunately, we've talked about this many times already, Jamie. It is going to be the enforced errors that will haunt them later on.
It can also be so frustrating missing your serve because you're going to break the momentum of your team. After that great spike and then follows a unforced error, that needs to be minimized.
Alegre to Casas. Good save by Retamar. A better save by Malinis there. Free ball tayo. Packing, finding zone number 2. Wala nang nagawa ang mga taga-Bulldogs. Natawa na lang sila. This is a beautiful attack there. Look at this. A cross-court attack by Packing.
Malinis had a great save over there, sacrificing his body. Great effort.
Marco Gimbal on the service area from Calatagan, Batangas.
That's a great serve.
Retamar to Budin. Very strong attacks ang pinapakita ni Budin dito sa laro. Meanwhile, Casas, not a very strong spike.
Casas had the great idea of doing that. He was a little bit early on his approach because the set was so high, but
Yeah.
it worked for them.
It worked for him. It didn't need to be strong. It just needs to be converted.
All about placement.
That's right. Retamar, quick attack to Mukaba. Kogimbal to Packing. Good rejection by the Bulldogs. Casas naman drops it off. And there's an error, rare
No
error
touch.
para dito sa Bulldogs. That's another score for Adamson. 4 serving 5 now.
I'm loving the energy of Adamson right now. The people on the bench are smiling. You can
They're
hear
cheering.
them cheer.
That's right. All of a sudden, nabubuhayan na ng loob ang Adamson. And they need to be. Retamar back set to Malinis. And another point for the Falcons.
Unforced error.
We're now tied at 5, Jamie.
And you need to break that momentum of Adamson right now. Clearly, Adamson is doing a great job. They're playing as a team right now. They're gelling. There's chemistry. Everything is working for them right now.
Beautiful serve. Retamar to Budin. Ganda ng pagkakablock ng Adamson that time. Unfortunately, again, a misfiring Budin.
I think NU is kind of stunned right now because Adamson has not blocked because in the past sets. So NU now needs to cover.
That's right. They've not been very successful in their blocks before. Pero ngayon, mukhang, as I've said, buhay na buhay sila. They're now up 6-5 against the powerful NU Bulldogs. Will this be the turnaround that they are looking for in this game?
Well, they just put in Aringo for NU, and he was the spark plug for the first set. So there we have him.
Spark plug you have.
Exactly.
Yun ang magandang bunot na. We call it the magic bunot,
Magic
swerteng bunot. Kasi right after
Exactly.
you put them in the game,
They score.
that's right.
And I love that Retamar gave him the set to give him some confidence.
Alegre to Packing. And that is another good execution para dito sa Falcons. They're hanging on.
Exactly. Alegre from Adamson, the setter, has been doing a great job. We have not talked about him
That's
this
right.
whole game.
We're all Retamar.
He's doing a great job of setting his spikers, varying his sets, and allowing his spikers to shine.
Aringo again decides to drop it off. Buhay na buhay, may free ball tayo. Joust at the net. Nope. Buhay pa rin. Alegre to Casas. Drops it. Good recovery by the Bulldogs. El Almendras. Alegre drops it off. Quite a rally we have from these two teams. Casas, strong attack. Unfortunately, Bulldogs win that point.
Medyo mababa yung set ni Alegre. Good adjust.
We are tied at 7. And this seems to me that this is the tightest set so far. Out of this 3 sets that we have, I mean the 2 sets that we did and this one. Aringo. Back set, sa likod, Packing. Retamar to Almendras. And he scores. Parang ang dali nung spike na yon, no?
Exactly.
Kasi hindi na depensahan. Anyways, we are headed to the first technical timeout in this set number 3. And you up by 1, 8-7. We will be back.
We are still here live at Paco Arena giving you live action for the V-League 2022 Collegiate Challenge between the match of NU versus Adamson Falcons. During the huddle of Adamson Falcons, Coach George is giving them instruction to read not just the spiker but also the setter from NU. Hindi lang basta-basta pinapalo ng spiker ang bola, kundi tinitingnan nito kung nasaan ang butas ng kanilang pwestuhan. Back to you, Nori and Jamie.
Adamson right now this set has been doing a great job. I love their fighting spirit. NU is still dominating, of course, but Adamson is doing a great job of fighting, like I just said. And their setter, Alegre, is really allowing his spikers to shine. Amazing job.
And what we've been talking about off air, Jamie, no? NU has Adamson has everything to gain. NU, sila yung may they have something to lose in this particular game. And at least the fight back, that's a good sign.
Exactly. And with Adamson, this is all a learning process, and also for NU too. Like, they're doing a great job of fixing what they need to be fixed, honing their skills, and fixing their errors.
Malinis, airborne. Alegre to Godoy. Another rejection by the Bulldogs.
Adamson needs to be reminded that they need to cover. NU is a great team with blocking. Block party almost all the time, so they need to cover.
Obed Mukaba again in the service area. They're up by 2, 10-8. That's a strong
Great
serve. And that is an ace.
Rare unforced error by NU, allowing that free ball to drop.
Yeah, my mistake. Correction. I said that's an ace, but that was an error. Kasi, good save by the Falcons in that particular time. And that's Almendras with that particular conversion. 11-9 ang ating score. Meanwhile, ito naman, number 13 from the Bulldogs. Retamar again, their team captain from Laguna is serving. He scored 7 against CSB and against Arellano he scored 10. Alegre to Godoy, but that's a little strong.
Too strong.
They're trying to plead na may touch. Kaya lang, the officials would have a very good vantage point.
Adamson needs to minimize their unforced errors right now. When NU gets a large lead, it might go downhill for Adamson.
Oh, what an error. Retamar. This is the second time na nagkaroon siya ng service error na ganyan. So it's a
rare mistakes by Retamar.
It's a gifted point to the Falcons. Alegre serving. They're down by 2. Retamar. And that is Malinis.
Malinis has done a great job offensively. That down the line is killer.
That's right. And every time he goes airborne, as we've said earlier also, halos ililista mo na eh. Oh, this is going to be another point. Back set. Godoy. Good offense, better defense that time.
Blocked by Aringo. He's been doing a great job this entire game. He's been given the chance to play and he's doing his job.
Almendras, meanwhile, nandito sa service area from Talisay, Batangas. Good serve. Tropia scores for the Falcons. And we have, or rather they have, cut the lead to 3 points, 11 serving 14. And JM also is in the service area now, the 19-year-old from Mapandan, Pangasinan. Beautiful. Retamar, the back set. Malinis again. Finally, a beautiful block executed well by the Falcons.
They're blocking when it matters. And I'm loving the energy of Adamson right now. No fear, unlike the first set. May konting fright. I'm happy that they're finally smiling this set and enjoying the game.
And Casas and Malinis are talking in between the net before that serve. Retamar this time from the back. And the point is going to be awarded to the Falcons. Cuts the lead to just 1 now, Jamie. 13 serving 14. So JM Tropia scored 12 against the Blazers and 8 against De La Salle.
Too strong. With moments like that, unforced errors like that should not occur, especially now. Breaks the momentum of your team.
Joy Jiao in the service area from Bayawan, Negros Oriental. Good things happen when this guy is on the service area. And that is going to be awarded to the Bulldogs. And that will mean that we will be going to the second technical timeout. 16-13 tayo. Lamang ng tatlo ang NU. Magbabalik po kami. We are still live at the Paco Arena. Nori Uy pa rin, kasama si Jamie La Victoria and Andrea Balyacer. This is NU versus Adamson. And we would like to greet all the viewers, especially sa mga nanonood sa CNN Philippines, because this is the first day that we are live on CNN, and we are going to be live every Sunday. Yung mga games natin ng 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. is on CNN Philippines. Again, every Sunday po yan. Meanwhile, sa laro naman, lamang ng dalawa na lamang ang kalamangan ng NU against Adamson. 14 serving 16 tayo.
I have to say Adamson is doing a great job right now. They are playing with no fear.
But Mukaba just killed that momentum.
They do not want to go into 4 sets right now.
Oh, they don't, yes. Because the momentum will definitely, switch to the Adamson sides if that happens. And again, what a luxury for Retamar to have a Mukaba, an Aringo, Almendras also is there, Malinis is there.
A variety of spikers, and with NU, they're good all around. It's not just a one-man team.
And he can go, basta, he can go the opposite, he can go the outside, he can go the back. Meron at merong spiker na sasalo eh. And unfortunate error yet again for the Falcons.
Packing should have just put the ball over, not in the net. Too many unforced errors, especially at a time like this. That should not be happening right now.
And just like that, the lead ballooned to 4 again for NU. Alegre to Packing.
Nate Bawe there.
At least Packing was able to convert on that particular attack. It's still a 3-point lead na hinahabol ng Adamson. Third Packing. The 23-year-old from Santiago, Ilocos Sur, over serves.
Like I said earlier, you have a great spike, and then you get to the service line, and then it's a missed serve. Breaking the momentum of your team, unfortunately.
Oo, balik sa apat ang kalamangan ng NU. Double substitution, binalik si Gay and Aguilar dito sa koponan ni Coach George Pascua. And let's see if the impact of this double sub will be for the better.
Coach George has been utilizing that double sub, and it's been effective all throughout the game.
That's right. Leo Aringo, meanwhile, serving for the Bulldogs. And another miscommunication there, broken play. Retamar, they will capitalize on this. And yes, Almendras scored again. May timeout tayo dito sa koponan ni Coach George Pascua. Let's listen in.
Nag-usap ba kayo ng bibigay sa'yo? Wala. Hindi. Ito kasi Ito kasi yun Pag first receive, nandito pa si Jude. Di ba? Hindi. Pwede mo pakukit to. Tapos isa rito. Kasi ang ginawa mo kagad, pinakukit mo kagad dito eh. So pag nagbalik ka, nandito na si Jude, nandito na si Josh, double pick ka, si Rito, tsaka isang back row rito. Kasi ginawa mo, pinano mo kagad eh. First ball pa lang naman tayo eh. Yung return ball, naka mag-double pick ha. Sige lang, sige lang.
Coach George Pasqua was helping John Gay, the setter of Adamson, on who to set. He said that you have lots of spikers. You have spikers who can spike with variation. Use that.
Yeah. Well, let's see if they would still be able to come back in this particular game. No, I mean, they're down 2 sets. This is the 3rd set, and they're down by 4 right now. And if they need to get their acts together, they need to act quickly.
And they need to do it now.
That's right. Casas on the service. Retamar, quick attack again. Mukaba. Finally, a good rejection from the side of the Falcons. Cuts the lead further to just 3 points now.
We had Almendras sacrificing his body over there like you just saw on your screen. Moments like that will happen. You just
Yeah.
have to get the ball and try to get it.
It's a good sign for the Bulldogs, you know, when you see their players really running after the ball. What a... Medyo nagulat ako dun sa quick attack na
I was just stunned by that
pinagana ni
play.
Mukaba. Oh, anyways, Retamar to Mukaba. Good rejection by Tropia. Almendras naman ngayon drops it off. Buhay pa rin. JM, malakas ang palo. Another score para dito sa Bulldogs.
Great idea by Tropia trying to go down the line. They're just a little too strong.
Kasi nandito lahat sila sa front line eh. Kaya lang malakas nga yung kanyang palo. Mukaba. I like the way that, you know, that Obed Mukaba serve. Look at him serve, Jamie. Awkward pero pumapasok eh.
Yes. You just jinxed it, unfortunately. For those tuning in, we jinxed it again.
Well, you know, there's something that you call a broadcaster's jinx talaga. And whatever sport that you call, either you say positive things or negative things or not so good things, kabaliktaran yung nangyayari. And Almendras, meanwhile, scored again for the Bulldogs. 22-18 na tayo.
The block of Adamson was unnoticed there. No block at all.
Nico Almendras doing what he does best, and that is to attack a cross-court spike. At hindi naman siya napahiya doon.
A great serve by Retamar.
Meanwhile, Falcons naman ngayon ang gumana. They're not giving up. There's still time to come back in this game. They're just down by 3 points.
The double sub of Adamson has been very effective all throughout the game. Now it's just a 3-point lead.
Alegre, their setter, is in the service area. Will they be able to cut this further into just a 2-point deficit, or will the Bulldogs push the lead again back to 4? Alegre, beautiful serve there. Buhay pa rin. Tumalinis. Alegre backsetting, packing, malakas. And the score will go to the Bulldogs. Pushes the lead to 4, 23-19.
Right idea by Adamson, but just a little too strong.
And we have another timeout here by the Falcons. Let's listen in.
Pagka bibilisin, huwag mo nang inikot yung kamay mo. The more na iikot yung kamay, talagang iilalim sa bola. Bago dumating yung block, paano agad na mabilis? Diba? Kasi kung inisip natin, lalakasan natin yung bola, nadidelay yung bilis natin. Di ba na mabilis? Pag mabilis, mas malakas. Kaysa i-delay natin yung palo, okay? Ganun lang sa kunin mo ulit ang receive dito, doon ka ulit net. Sa'yo ulit yan. Kasi mahirap bumlock sa kaliwa kaysa nandito sa kanan, mas matibay dito sa kanan. Ha? Maliwanag? And then ready lang cast sa back row, ha? Okay, let's go, tara.
Hindi pa tapos ha?
George Pasqua told his spikers to fasten their arm swing. It's kind of, they're having a hard time. It's kind of slow.
May delay.
May delay.
Nico Almendras will be serving. If they score, it is going to be match point. Will the Falcons be able to extend this game? Back set. Tropia Another rejection by the Bulldogs.
Canlas had the right idea of covering. Unfortunately, the ball did not go up.
Match point na tayo, Jamie, 24-19. And this is another dominant showing by the Bulldogs. Will they be able to close this off in the sequence? Let's see. Good break para dito sa Adamson as they get that score. 20-24 ang ating score.
Adamson is so happy right now with that unforced error by NU, banking on their errors right now.
JM Tropia. Good serve. Retamar. To Aringo. Packing, medyo malakas. Pero nakuha pa rin niya ang puntos. The lead is down to 3. They still have a chance.
NU needs to stop this momentum right now from Adamson or they'll go into 4 sets.
That's right. They just need 4 more points. Actually, 5 more points, rather. Tropia, good serve again. Retamar, this time quick hit by Diao, wala. Free ball. Retamar to Diao once more. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Diao finishing it off. 25-21 dito sa ating set number 3. Take a look at this, Jamie. This is a good set by Retamar to Diao. Tinapos na nila ang laban against the Adamson Soaring Falcons. It is straight sets.
Adamson did a great job, had great effort. Unfortunately, they fell short in the last set. This is a great learning experience for them. It's an honor playing a team like NU. Now they're going to get back to the drawing board, going back to training, hone their craft, fix what they need to fix.
I mean, NU is NU. I mean, they've sailed past the Blazers, dominated UST, gave up just a set against Arellano, and again, 3 straight sets against Adamson Soaring Falcons. Meanwhile, kasama na ni Andrea Ballecer ang best player of the game. Andrea, take it over.
Thank you, Jamie and Nori. Now, beside me is the player of the game, Kenny Malines. So, Kenny, ano yung motivation mo for today's game? Kasi napansin namin earlier yung game, hindi lang sa atake but sa defense also.
Kenry po pangalan ko, di po Kenny. Siguro sa pagod ng training namin kasi nag-uumaga kami bago mag-game. And binigay lang namin yung best namin para makuha yung game na ito.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. So now, meron ka bang gustong i-greet your family, friends?
Binabati ko po yung mga taga Bugo City po, lalo na yung mga taga LPC dyan, LPC boys, at saka yung sa family ko po. Salamat po.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. Back to you, Jamie and Nori.
Thanks, Andrea. Again, congratulations. Kenry Malinis from Bogo Cebu, the best player of the game. Take a look at the highlights, Jamie. Set number 1. It's all NU.
NU dominating and blocking, attacks. Very steady team.
I mean, what more can you ask for in a team like this? Set 1, ang ganda ng bunot kay Aringo,
Yes, he did a great job. And coming off the bench, you never really know how you're going to play. And there's some players that do well coming from the bench, actually.
And again, another credit goes to the setter of NU in Owa Retamar. I mean, he's been utilizing his spikers left and right, back, front. It does not matter. Variance of sets.
I've been watching him all throughout the game, and he's such a steady setter. He does his job, he's composed, and has confidence.
Again, coming up next, San Beda University against San Sebastian College. Magkapit bahay sa Recto yan. This has been Nori Uy with Jamie La Victoria and Andrea Ballecer. This is still your V-League Collegiate Challenge. Be safe and God bless everybody.